Today we are going to put up a bookshelf.
All right, we're going to show you how to hang a bookshelf today. Now we have all sorts of supplies we're going to need.
And this. It makes a beeping sound when...
All right, that's the stud finder. We got our shelves, screws, tape measure, screwdriver, anchors, drill, a level, and our bits. So we got tons of stuff to show you today. Let's get started. You may have noticed by our bed sheets that we're not in my room today, okay? We're hanging these shelves for who? Kaya, your little sister. Now, she can't reach very high. So, Nolan, how high do you think your sister should be able to reach?
3 feet.
And?
12 inches.
6 inches.
6 inches.
Okay, so we're going to measure the height first. Go ahead and grab it, Nolan. Take it over to the wall. He wanted it pre-measured so he would know where it's at. Now, we got to put this all the way to the floor. Okay, a nice straight line. Now I will hold it still for you, buddy. You make a mark right at that 6 with the pencil. Sorry if my hands are in the way, guys. Where you see the 6? Make a nice mark there. Perfect, buddy. All right, it's good. We can see it. As long as we can see it, we'll be good. All right, so that's our height. Now we're going to figure out how to center. Okay, for our next piece, we got to make sure that we put this shelf in the center of the wall. To do that, we have to figure out where is the middle of this shelf. I'm going to be measuring from this screw hole to this screw hole. Okay. And it's right at 1 foot, 3 inches. So 15 inches. Half of that is going to be 7.5 inches right here in the middle. That's going to be my key midpoint when I go to determine the center. On the wall, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to figure out the total width. Sorry guys, that was upside down. Make that a little bit easier for you. Okay. The total width is 2 feet, 6.25 inches. Okay. So 2 feet plus 6 inches is 30 inches and an extra quarter. So 30 inches divided by 2 to find that middle part is going to be 15 and an eighth. Okay. So I'm going to be about right here. And that's where I'm going to mark the center. Okay. To find our width, we measured the distance. Now we got to go 15 and an eighth for inches. So we got 1 foot, which is 12 inches, 13, 14, 15. And an eighth, which is right there. So that's where I'm going to mark. So to find the middle, all I'm going to do is grab my level and make sure that these are lined up perfect. I'll put a little dash right there and I'll know where to go from. Okay, Nolan is going to mark 7.5 inches. Okay, because that's from our center point. Good job, buddy. Before we start drilling into the wall, we need to check to see if we're going to need an anchor for our screws. The way we're going to check that is with our stud finder. Nolan, what are you doing in the basement closet?
I am showing you guys the studs.
And what do the studs do?
Put the wall up. That's why you see the wall.
That's right, they hold the wall up. But we can't see the studs
On the other
normally.
side.
Can you show me how to find them from the other side?
Just on the wall, you don't need to push the button first when it's off the wall. You just need to push the button when it's on the wall.
It's making a noise. What does that mean?
That means there's a wood there.
That means we found a stud and there's wood there, right?
And it does it to your hand.
Go all the way until you hear it, buddy. Keep going. Keep going. All right. So, does our dot have a stud on it? Did it beep when you were over the dot? No, it doesn't. So.
Just say the sentence again.
Wow. No, it didn't beep. So that means we're going to need to use a wall anchor. Before we put this thing away, though, I want to show you one more cool feature about this before we go drilling into walls. That's what this little lightning bolt is for. It will tell us if there's any electrical wires in the wall. Watch this, man. I press it down, I'm using it the exact same. You notice that it's lit up? Okay, here's a stud, and it's...
Go right here to see.
That's right. If I go up here, there's a stud, but the electrical one isn't lit up. If I go down here by the outlet, do you see it lights up now? Man, right on our dot, right?
I can't show. Why is there white stuff in there?
That's the drywall, buddy. We're ripping through the drywall. There are lots of different types of wall anchors, and the reason we use wall anchors is so that we don't destroy the drywall, okay? If you put a picture or a shelf up on the wall and it gets pulled on or the weight's too heavy, the drywall will actually crack. So there's a few different kinds here, okay? Starting with the really, really heavy-duty ones. What do you see about that, man?
Cool.
It's cool. It's got big, deep ridges, okay? This would be used for hanging a very, very heavy shelf, a massive picture, or maybe like a television set. If you're hanging up a TV off your wall, something like that would be handy. These, okay, these ones that look kind of like rocket ships are pretty basic anchors, okay? They have ridges on them to help hold. This would be for like a small picture, maybe a small mirror. Don't be grabbing stuff, buddy.
Let's show them
These
the other type of fish.
are built like an arrow, okay? And what happens is as they go in, they get pinched, but once it gets past the drywall, these ridges pop out and it holds it in. So this is a little bit heavier duty. If you're gonna get a plastic anchor, this is the strongest type of plastic anchor. They work really, really well for holding heavy stuff. Those work, the blue ones work the same. They're just a little bit bigger size, buddy, for a different size screw. Ones we're going to be using today, because we have very, very lightweight shelves, are these ones. Just a simple tube, and what they're going to do is provide some stability to our screws. The hole we drilled isn't quite big enough for our anchor.
Why don't you hammer it in?
Well, if I hammer it in, I might start cracking the drywall, okay? So I can always make a drill hole bigger. So I want to start small.
It too big and
Exactly. You figured out the problem. If I make it too big, then this is just going to slide around and it's not going to do its job. So I always try to start one size too small, and then I can always add to it. Deal? So I'll grab a new drill bit and we'll try again. One size with our drill bit, and now our anchor is ready to be tapped in. Now we don't want to hit very hard because we're trying to protect the drywall as much as possible as we're doing this. And we're going to leave it sticking out just a tiny bit. Okay, we can always hammer it in further, buddy, but we can't pull it out once it's in there. So that's what it's going to look like. Let's grab a screw. Nolan, what are you doing?
I'm drilling it in with my hands.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to use a screwdriver. Go ahead, buddy. Oopsies. There we go. Twist it in.
All the way?
Well, not all the way, actually. Nope. We need it to stick out just a little bit so we can hang the shelf on it. Does that make sense?
All the way to your fingers?
That would be perfect. Okay, for this piece, for our second hole, what we're doing is we're using our level with the ruler on top. Notice it's at 1 foot right now. That means for 15 inches, we're going to be marking right at the 27, and we use the level. Our next step is going to be to do what we just did, drill a hole and add this anchor in the screw. See you in a little bit. Last step, we have our 2 screws in the wall with anchors. So what we're going to do is hook the screws into place
In the neck.
carefully.
In the neck again to make sure if it's level. Now we need the level again.
All right, you can check it, Nolan.
It's in the middle.
It's in the middle. Nolan, how old are you?
6.
If it kindergartner can do it. So can you. Have a good day, guys.